2 fallen Tremonton officers will be added to a national monument this year. How you can help raise money to send the police department to D.C. to commemorate that very moment. And construction projects remain in full swing this week. What 2 road closures you will need to know about, and where you can see bald eagles right here in Utah.
Live and streaming, this is KSL News Now.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us for KSL News Now. I'm Lori Pritchard. Matt Johnson is here. We're going to talk about our forecast because the next 24 hours, things are going to be changing.
Yep, they're definitely 24 hours you need to pay attention to because we've got something that hasn't been very common this year headed our way, and that is snow. Yes, the S word, S-N-O-W. It is headed in for tomorrow morning. So today, it is dry for most of the afternoon, but by late into the evening, we're going to see some showers moving in. It'll turn to valley snow tomorrow. We might even see some lake effect snow showers moving in, and then also inversions will return. So the storm that's moving in, it's going to be a nice little punch of snow, but then quiet weather resumes. 32 in Moab currently, mostly clear in Blanding with a 30-degree reading on the thermometer down there. 37 in St. George, most of the Wasatch Front, more of the same with 30s and clouds starting to increase. You'll notice through the mid-morning and afternoon, clouds thicken up. By late afternoon, there you go, showers start moving in from north to south. They will eventually switch over to snow. We'll talk more about those chances in just a few.
All right, Matt, thank you. We'll check back in with you. Meanwhile, this morning, if you have a sweet tooth, today you have a good excuse to indulge. The Twisted Sugar stores in Brigham City and Tremonton, they're raising money to send the Tremonton-Garland Police Department to our nation's capital to honor their 2 fallen officers. So any treat you buy goes to send them there. And news specialist Brian Carlson is live in Tremonton for us with this tasty fundraiser. And Brian, have they put you to work so far this morning?
They put me to work a little bit, but obviously you kind of see my skills are not great at putting together the soda. I'm not good at being able to make the baking and all that stuff with the cookies. What I am good at is eating right now. And right now I'm just kind of surveying some of the options right here. These are some of the things, when you talk about a sweet fundraiser, this is what you get in return. I mean, talking about not only feeling good because you're doing good, but then you feel good because you got some of this right here this morning. So how this works is you buy a tree, maybe even some flowers here at the Bear River Floral in Tremonton. The money goes towards helping the police officers here with Tremonton and Garland go to D.C. when the names of Officer Eric Estrada and Sergeant Lee Sorensen are put there on the Fallen Officers Memorial in D.C. So great cause right here. You've got some great work and some great treats this morning. We've got Callie Merchant, the manager at the Tremonton Twisted Sugar. I mean, this is one of those things I think a lot of people can get behind here, Callie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so for you guys, you coming in here, why is this something that you wanted to do?
Well, I think that it was just something that impacted all of our community, especially me. I mean, my dad's a police officer, so you never want to see that happen to anyone. And I knew one of them personally, Sergeant Lee Sorensen. He was a great guy. My dad worked with Estrada in North Logan, so they're both great guys, and it was such a tragedy. Yeah, it's one of the things you forget. I mean, obviously, you know, the police department is impacted by this, but then Tremonton, Garland, I mean, these are people, it's such a small town. These people you know every day. Yep.
Yeah.
I think lots of people knew them, and it was a very familiar loss. I'm pretty sure the owners knew them too, so yeah, it's just really hard, I think, for our community.
So now you're giving back right here. So people want to come in. How does it work? How's the whole thing go down?
So all day, anything you buy, part of the proceeds you make from that will go to the police department.
So we're talking soda, we're talking cookies, we're talking pretzels, whatever it is.
Yep, anything in the store.
All right. And so you not only have that for the Tremonton Twisted Sugar, but for the Brigham City location too.
Yep, absolutely, all day, both locations.
Okay, there you go. So if you want to come down and donate, get yourself a little treat at the same time. You see the information there on your screen. Go to the Twisted Sugar in Tremonton, Brigham City, and Bear River Floral here in Tremonton as well. And all those proceeds are going to help the Tremonton-Garland Police Department go out there to D.C. Lori, I've obviously got my eye on a couple of things here. Any requests for you back there at the station?
I'll take any cookie. I don't care what kind. Just take it.
Right?
Yeah, what a great cause.
There you go.
Brian, thank you for that. Meanwhile, this morning happening today, Corey Richens will be in court for an evidentiary hearing. Richens, a mother from Camas, is charged with aggravated murder and attempted murder, which are first-degree felonies. Those charges are in addition to other crimes for allegedly killing her husband, Eric Richens, with a fatal dose of fentanyl. The two-day hearing begins at 9:30 this morning, and a nearly 2-month-long trial is expected to begin in February. It was an emotional day in court as witnesses testified about the very day that Santaquin Police Sergeant Bill Hoosier was killed back in 2024. Tuesday was the first day of 43-year-old Michael Jane's preliminary hearing. Authorities say he hit Sergeant Hoosier with his semi-truck. The woman traveling with Jane at the time described that chain of events.
He drove a little bit and turned that whole 80,000-pound 53-foot reefer trailer around, sharp turn like a pro, just whoosh, and then turned around and then was going for us.
Jane faces an aggravated murder charge, among others. Prosecutors are pursuing the death penalty. The man accused of shooting and killing another man during the No Kings protest in Salt Lake City, also in court on Tuesday. Matt Alder is facing a manslaughter charge for the death of Afa Alu. A judge told Alder he must call the jail to get fingerprinted and take a mugshot. Also, he must set a date for Alder to come back for his next hearing in March. The South Jordan man facing child torture charges will not get out of jail before his pretrial hearing in March. A judge listened on Tuesday as prosecutors and 32-year-old Micah Smith's defense outlined their reasons for and against his release. Smith faces the charges in connection to a hike he took with his 3 small children that was nearly deadly. When rescue crews found the family, Smith told them his 4-year-old was dead. They were able to resuscitate him, but say he will suffer permanent brain damage. Prosecutors say he intentionally hurt his children and knowingly put their lives in danger. They also claim he continues to break a protective order even while incarcerated. His defense says he made mistakes, but is a good father who is no threat to his children.
He came into the ER with a body temperature of 62 degrees Fahrenheit and was in full cardiac arrest and required multiple rounds of resuscitation. He suffered a stroke and was transferred to the PICU.
3rd District Judge Elizabeth Herbie Mills ruled Smith will stay behind bars while he awaits a pretrial hearing that is scheduled for March 20th. And this morning, we're learning more about the man accused of making pipe bombs and anti-Semitic threats who was arrested on Christmas Eve. Neighbors like Shannon Storrs say they weren't surprised when police swarmed 21-year-old Skylar Rose's home and found an arsenal of homemade bombs, explosive materials, guns, and ammunition. Detectives also found a slew of anti-Semitic posts and threats. Rose's arrest comes on the heels of a plea deal he took in a different case where he fired a homemade gun near Storrs and her daughter back in May.
What scared me the most is having my daughter right there. Like, I didn't know if he was going to do it again and a stray bullet was going to hit us.
Rose is now facing 15 criminal charges, including weapons of mass destruction with enhancements and threats of terrorism. He's being held without bail and is due back in court on Thursday. All right, let's check back in with Matt Johnson on this Wednesday morning. At 24 hours, we're going to see some snow finally.
Yes, we are. And, you know, this is a fast-moving system. It's already bringing snow up into the Cascades of Washington. Yes, this is Snoqualmie Resort, just to our north and west, our neighboring state, or kind of neighboring, right? A couple states away up in the northwest. You can see radars active here, snow in the mountains, valley, rain for Seattle. That's on the backside of our cold front that is now headed towards Utah. We'll first see the clouds, a couple of rain showers, and then the snow is likely going to move in. So you'll notice on the forecast today, it's dry for the first half, but then rain and snow starts to move in. Moab, you're dry, 52, and most of central and southern Utah will be on the dry side. You'll notice by Thursday, though, I've got snow in the forecast, especially for morning commuters. That's when it'll likely be most impactful, so heads up there. You head into Friday, drying out with a 33-degree high, potentially our coldest day yet this season. We'll talk more about the timing and potential totals with the snow coming up.
With you. Meanwhile, December, seeing the highest rates of domestic violence out of the entire year. And the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition says you can have meaningful conversations with their staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. More than 230 Utahns reached out for help in the month of December. Last month, 138 people called them. 25 used the text or chat options. The average phone call lasted 12 minutes, while the chat conversations were just over 30. The UDVC launched the chat line back in October. It says it's a confidential option for survivors to reach out without making a phone call. And you can call or text 1-800-897-LINK anytime to get confidential support. Newly released numbers show traffic deaths in Utah reached a 6-year low in 2025. According to UDOT and DPS, 264 people lost their lives last year on our roads. That's actually down from 277. Despite the decrease, officials say motorcycle fatalities increased by 32% compared to the year before. Teen fatalities also rose sharply, with 31 teenagers losing their lives last year.
We always have to remember that the goal is zero. We have to see zero fatalities on our roads. We have to see zero deaths, zero injuries, and we do believe it's possible.
Utah Highway Patrol says every driver must commit to driving focused, alert, sober, and calm to prevent future tragedies. Construction projects remain in full swing this week, and UDOT is issuing a warning about 2 road closures. I-15 will shut down overnight on Friday in Farmington and Centerville. It will begin at 9 p.m. with a full closure for southbound lanes beginning at 10:30. Crews are working on the pedestrian bridge near Station Park. UDOT says it's part of the project to add a new interchange on the border of Farmington and Kaysville. And officials say daytime closures in Provo Canyon will start today, and they're going to last through February. Crews will close part of that road Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 10:50 for controlled blasting. Utah Senator John Curtis admitting Congress has given up some of its power to President Trump, which he says frustrates him. But in other ways, the Republican senator says lawmakers are pushing back. Curtis was a member of Congress during President Trump's first term, but this time, by all accounts, the president has been much more aggressive, governing largely through executive orders or acting on his own. Curtis says the legislature has conceded some of that power in issues like tariffs.
I think because of the dominancy of the Trump presidency, people overlook the pushback that we do here in Congress.
For example, Curtis says the Senate has refused to get rid of the filibuster despite pressure from the president to do that. He says a lot of pushback happens behind the scenes and not in public. A new partnership in Utah may revolutionize the way prescriptions are distributed. The state is teaming up with Doctronic on a first-of-its-kind pilot, helping renew prescription medications for those with chronic conditions. According to the Utah Department of Commerce, the AI platform will handle routine refill requests in minutes while the state closely evaluates. They say prescription renewals make up about 80% of all medication activity, and they hope to make this process a lot easier. The Red Cross of Utah warning about post-holiday fire risk. They're warning that dried out Christmas trees could be a serious hazard. It was National Take Down the Christmas Tree Day on Tuesday, so if your tree's up, you even missed that day. According to the National Fire Protection Association, nearly a third of Christmas tree fires happen in January. We're, of course, talking about live Christmas trees, not the artificial ones. They say to remove all decorations, lights, ornaments, tinsel, and the tree stand. They warn not to store trees in garages or against the house. Instead, check your local recycling or curbside pickup options. Right now, warnings from avalanche experts as more snow is on the way. Utah Avalanche Center lists much of the state under considerable danger. Avalanche forecaster Toby Weed says people should stay away from slopes with a 30% grade or steeper. He says he's worried that some people may take unnecessary risks, especially as there's some pent-up excitement with the late start to the season.
They really want to get into that powder, to the untracked powder right now. But at the same time, there are dangerous conditions, so we need to temper that and really evaluate what we're doing out there, make conservative decisions.
Forecasters say it's important to not go into the backcountry alone. That way, if you do have an avalanche or cross into avalanche terrain, you can do so one at a time, and you also have backup. Someone's watching you as well. All right, Matt Johnson, let's talk about snow, because it is in our forecast and it is desperately needed.
Yes, and we're going to be seeing some snow along the valley floor. I've got a low pressure system noted here just to the southwest of LA. That'll put some showers into Arizona today. But you'll notice the cold front that we're focused on is just to the northwest. Pocket of cold air right behind it. That's going to blast into Utah. Quick mover, but it's not super organized. Let's walk through it. A couple of flurries show up in the southern mountains later today. Mountains of northern Utah, accumulating snowfall starts this afternoon. Valleys, cloudy, and a couple of showers. Now the snow starts to move in as we head into Thursday, 5 a.m. Early tomorrow morning, if you're going up over any of these mountain passes, Spanish Fork Canyon, Parleys, Weber, Sardine, you're going to run into snow tomorrow morning. The valleys could even see some snow for the AM commute. Wild card, that's going to be coming in off the lake. Lake effect snow is looking likely. It's just we don't know exactly where it's going to set up. Likely starting in the Salt Lake Valley, then transitioning into Tooele Valley. This is around the lunch hour. Southern Utah, all the meanwhile, you're picking up some snow. Beaver to Cedar, Fillmore, you might see some of it. St. George is likely going to stay rain, but you could see a snowflake mix in. This is 8 p.m. Thursday. Most of the snow transitioning into the Tooele Valley. By that point, you'll notice Lake Powell even picking up a little bit of snow by tomorrow evening. This is Friday, 2 o'clock. It's completely out of here, so it's mainly a Thursday deal for the snow. This is what we know right now. It's not the most organized storm system. It's moving really quick. Those two things are going to limit how much snow we see in the valley. You're also looking at a lake effect band, but as I mentioned, it's just hard to determine where that location, if it's going to camp out, how long it'll stay in those areas, but mainly Salt Lake and Tooele Valleys. Trace to 3 inches is what we're expecting for the Wasatch Front and northern valleys. Benches in the Wasatch Back, 2 to 6, half foot to a foot for the northern mountains. Of course, the Cottonwoods could do good. If we hit that 18, it would be because the lake effect band sets up over the Salt Lake Valley. Wild card there again, 4 to 8 inches for the central and southern mountains. Central Utah, hey, how about it? You've got partly cloudy skies and temperatures in the 40s. Dry for southern Utah, but some heavy clouds down there in the southeast corner. Northern Utah and southern Idaho. These showers are going to be increasing as we head into the afternoon and evening, especially for the Wasatch Front. I think most of the day is going to be dry for you, upper 40s, mild. St. George, you've got a 52 down to 45. Chance for showers Thursday, cold and dry to follow. That 7-day buoys back up to the 50s with a high pressure system moving in. Wasatch Front, snow Thursday 36. Dry but cold for the weekend, and the haze is going to start building in, Lori.
Thank you for that. In other headlines this morning, 3 more books are being pulled from shelves at schools statewide. 2 of them have been adapted into popular films like Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower. The 3rd book, 19 Minutes, has also been removed. It follows the aftermath of a school shooting. They were removed from shelves in Davis, Tooele, and Washington counties, prompting the statewide ban. In consumer headlines this morning, we're getting a look at some of the new tech companies that are developing right now. There were a number of announcements at the Consumer Electronics Show happening in Las Vegas. Waymo's announced new services for their autonomous vehicles in 20 new cities, including Vegas. And Sambo Motors out of South Korea is developing a 5-seat air taxi, which could be hitting the market in about a decade. And looking for some futuristic nostalgia, these downsized arcade games with Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and a functional Kodak Charm era keychain that looks like the old cameras but has some high-tech firepower there. Lego is rolling out what they're calling smart bricks. They look a lot like the regular Lego pieces that you already know, but they're equipped with chips that can detect similar chips in other building blocks. That means they can light up or make different noises when in proximity with one another. These new bricks launch in March with a new set for Star Wars. As people focus on health and wellness for the new year, DoorDash is highlighting restaurants that make eating healthy easier. One Salt Lake location made that list. The company is releasing its 26 Healthy Eats for 2026 list. It spotlights nutritious, smaller restaurants across the country. And that list includes the Protein Foundry in Salt Lake City. It's known for its high-protein waffles, bowls, and smoothies designed to fuel workouts. DoorDash says protein is a big trend right now, with orders for protein shakes jumping 93% year over year. Utah health organizations that go above and beyond for the community can apply for the 2026 Select Health Awards, which help fund state services. That program awards $5,000 to 10 Utah organizations for things like increasing access to health care, food security, housing stability, mental health, and physical well-being. Applications now open through February 28th or until 200 submissions are received. All right, let's get back to Matt Johnson and talk about the forecast. Today may be okay. Tomorrow, though, is the big weather day.
Yeah, that's the day to look out for. And I'm going to give you your last little tidbit here. And that is that clouds are going to be increasing. You can already see some valley rain and mountain snow, really light, but already coming down in the Rexburg area, Pocatello, and all the way to Burley. That's headed our way. It's going to take a little time. So you notice in the forecast today, 30s with a couple of clouds at 7 a.m. goes to warmer temperatures and thicker clouds by the lunch hour. This afternoon, topping out in the upper 40s, but look at those showers that are going to start moving in. Be ready for it.
Thanks, Matt. This year marks the United States' 250th birthday, making it the perfect time to view bald eagles across the state of Utah. The bird has been an official symbol of our nation since 1782. And the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources says February is typically the best time of year to see those bald eagles soar in Utah. But DWR will host a free viewing event just outside of Cedar City this Friday, beginning at 3. You can find a much more extensive list of where you can actually go to see those bald eagles in Utah on our website. And if you happen to snap a photo of that majestic bird, make sure to send it our way. We want to see what's happening in your neighborhood. Just go to ksltv.com/asyouseeit. A father reaching out to a player on his family's favorite football team, not expecting to hear back, but Los Angeles Chargers kicker Cameron Dicker delivered. A video shown to these kids on Christmas morning that brought smiles to their faces. The Alvarez family moved to Utah a few years ago, and they brought their love of the Chargers with them. And the family's big Christmas present, tickets to the game on December 27th from their dad, and this surprise video.
It's time for you to be in person cheering for us again. So we will see you at the Texans game, baby. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Oh, isn't that nice? The family says it was a Christmas they will never forget. The Chargers play this weekend in the first round of the playoffs, and no doubt they're going to have one family that will be cheering for them the loudest right here in Utah. Well, thanks so much for joining us on this segment of KSL News Now on this Wednesday morning. We leave you with a live look to Salt Lake City as the sun begins to come up. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great day.